Welcome to another horrid, terrible, apocalyptic episode of the apocalypse. Congratulations, by the way, for choosing the apocalypse. And since you have unwisely chosen the apocalypse, the actual apocalypse, you are in urgent need of a guide. Unfortunately for me, I happen to be that guide, your humble guide, Nicholas. So good to see you. A bloody gain. Can you believe that we are here? A deal is about to be made that no man could make. But the story speaks of a man that would one day make that deal. And that man would be the Antichrist. And can you believe it? The Antichrist will head the Board of Peace for the Holy Land. Why would he want to do that? Because he's the Antichrist. That's why. Let us begin. I'm tired. It's like 5 in the fucking morning. Donnie and Bibi had a press conference today, well, yesterday now, and it looked like this. And Bibi was at a podium too, because they trying to get moving on this Gaza thing. Now, the last plan we heard was Tony Blair was going to run shit, and there was going to be some Muslim group that would work with him, and that's how it was going to go, and there was no talk of resorts. Well, there's still really no talk of resorts all of a sudden. I don't believe for one fucking second there won't be any resorts. They just don't want to talk about it right now. They want to try and look like they are, I don't know, the great, enlightened, ambivalent peacemakers. That's it. They're trying to look like the good guys. Bibi, Donnie, the whole thing. I don't buy for 1 second there will be no resorts, even though there's no talk of any right now. No fucking way. With Bibi involved, Donnie involved, the finance minister of Israel involved, Jared Kushner involved, there will definitely be resorts. They frame it now as, we're going to rebuild it for the Palestinian people. No. It never goes that way, son. The finance minister, he's the one that was telling the real truth. We spent a lot of money on this war, and, a lot of investment in time and energy. And we want to get that back. And then there was the commercial, remember, with the gold Donnie statues, Trump Gaza, all that. I believe a lot of that's still in the works. There's no way they're just going to rebuild it for the poor Gazan people. No fucking way. Not with those names involved. They just don't want to talk about it right now. They want to seem like, again, they're above all this. They're the great peacemakers. And as I look at this, I know what Bibi's thinking. I know what Donnie's thinking. Hegseth, all of them. The temple, the temple, the temple, the temple. I see through all this bullshit. Make some money in Gaza. Own it. Temple. So Donnie, again, this is historic, people. Pay attention to this shit that's going on right now with Israel, Donnie, the whole thing. It's the point of it all. I said that way back when, you remember? All roads lead there. Look where we at, son. Can you believe it? Donnie says peace in the Middle East. Let's call it eternal peace in the Middle East. In other words, I want credit for eternal peace in the Middle East. That's where he's going. That's why he said that. This is far more than anybody expected, according to him. Let's be honest about what it is. The Muslims, the Palestinians, the Gazans, they have no choice. They have a machine gun in their face. That's a lot more powerful than they are. So they either go along with this or they die. That's it. That's the choice. So when Donnie says something like, this is far more than anyone expect, no, it's just, it's peace via gunpoint. That's all. One side has no choice. The other side has a bunch of options. So Donnie's giving himself credit. This is far more than anybody expected. Well, here's the thing, people. How many times, how old are you? How many times have you seen, Bill Clinton, whoever, some world leader attempt to take this Israel-Palestine thing on? They always fail fucking miserably, and it gets nowhere. All of a sudden, Donnie comes on the spot. Bibi and the religious right over there look at Donnie as some kind of King Cyrus or some shit. Some ancient figure that helped the Jews of that day rebuild their temple, allowed them freedom even though he conquered the territory. And helped them build their temple again. That's how they look at Donnie all of a sudden. All these other figures were not looked at that way. None of them. All of a sudden comes King Cyrus in their minds. All of a sudden, here we are. Again, I have to point this out. I intended to. Do you realize what you're witnessing? Do you realize this is the story? A man will come along, make this deal, renege halfway through. A man would come along that would make the deal no one could make. Now, forget the aspect of it where it's via gunpoint. He's still making the deal, technically. We are at a point where no one else could reach. Even though we've gotten here by, let's say, nefarious means. So it isn't some beautiful, noble endeavor that's going on. We all know what it is. He's on the verge of doing it. Do you understand that? And it's, son, it's real this time. I'm not Alex Jones. I'm not a right-wing grifter or any kind of grifter in the political world or any world. So when I say something's about to happen, son, I ain't saying it so I can sell more snake oil or be dramatic. This is it, son. The deal that no one can make is about to be made. Is it made today? No. But we this close. Palestine has no choice. They either go along or they die. They said in the speech, it's right back to war if you don't go along with this. Donnie says, Bibi has free reign. You don't go along with this, free reign. They got no choice. They'll go along with some form of their plan, which I'll get into. I just want to clarify and stress for you where you're at. You might not understand the significance. I fucking do. So, this person comes along. A few thousand years ago, a Messiah came along, named Jesus Christ. His people did not accept him. The Jewish people. Still to this day, most of the Jewish people do not accept Jesus Christ. They do not see him as Savior, all that. Prophet, maybe. Important figure, maybe. Not the way Christians view him, or some Jews view him. They didn't accept him. That's it, in the story. When they finally do accept someone, the person they accept is the Antichrist. That's in the story. We're watching it play out before our eyes. Where this guy is almost deified in the religious right over in Israel. They see him as the conduit to the greater glory of Israel and that temple, actually making it a reality. This is their moment. This is Donnie's moment, the Reich's moment, all of it. That's the way they're looking at this. Notice how involved Donnie is in the Holy Land. Remember that commercial with the gold statues on the fucking Holy Land of this thing. Don't ever forget that. There was intent behind that, money behind that was put out for a fucking reason. Those are people's desires, son. And I didn't hear anyone condemn it. BB, Donnie, anybody. Understand where you are. If you have been following at all hermeneutics, people that discuss prophecy throughout the decades, all the things they talked about, they were all wrong, by the way, about who they named, what era they thought things were happening. They were all wrong. In their defense, one, they had political bias, almost all of them. So they looked at everything through a right-wing political lens as they were preaching the gospel and interpreting the gospel, interpreting the book in its entirety. You lose right there if you go in with bias and try and tie it to politics. So all the things they said, how involved Russia would be in the end, they took down America. And they ain't done yet, son. How this man would come along and make the deal. Now, meanwhile, they all voted for him. But, you can listen to prophecy teachers and you can understand that they're in a bubble of bias and not walk along with them in that bias. That's what I did. I was interested in what they knew about the end times, not how they were equating it to figures. Because they were all wrong. Every one. And in their defense, again, certain words weren't invented yet. Certain things didn't exist yet. AI, digital currency, crypto, RFID chips, all that shit. Wearables. Did I say AI? Did I say MAGA? That didn't exist yet. I explained to you people, I always wondered about that phrase Gog and Magog, and I thought to myself, there's nothing that sounds like Magog. Then MAGA came along. And when you say it, it sounds like Magog. So certain things weren't even in existence yet. For instance, there's never been something that can go forth and represent you in any realm without you being there and controlling it. Now there is. And it's almost perfected. It's not perfect, it's close. It's getting there. We've been watching for a few decades now. Bots go forth representing people for evil, for good, for advertisement, whatever. The way Zuckerberg worded it. It's going to go forth with your values, represent your values, your beliefs. An image. I don't think he used that word. I'm using it. But I digress again. I just want to stress for the millionth time, you are on the verge of history here, and it's more than just history. It's prophetic. It was written over 1,000 years ago, and before that as well, in the Old Testament. You're watching it play out before your eyes. I can't believe it's happening, personally. It's all a blur to me. I'm so stunned by it all. They're this close to doing it, to making the actual deal. Do I consider this the deal and the announcement? No. The Muslim world has to weigh in and decide how far along they're going to go with this. I assume that process won't take very long, because if they don't make up their minds quickly, well, then it's back to war. And they already lost that. You are about to see that peace deal you've listened to countless speeches about. Is it a good thing? No. Is the temple a good thing? No, not the temple itself, but what it's going to be used for. No. In the story, it means the end. Now, if you love God and you're looking to make it to the end, that point, then maybe you're happy about it. I don't know. I'm not. Because I always understood when I read that story, if it was real, the horror and suffering that would take place to get to that end point. And that a lot of people wouldn't make it to that end point. And how many people would be lost due to their choices? That's the way I look at it. And I only know this world. I haven't seen all that good that's talked about at the end of Scripture, at the very end. All I've seen is this, where men like Donnie Shitbags are glorified, deified, where evil is called good, good is called evil. We work like slaves for nothing. Everyone stabs each other in the back. That's this realm. So I don't know what all that good's about at the end. I haven't experienced it. No concept of it. I can fantasize, I can guess. And that don't really help you much, does it? So although at the very end there may be some very wonderful things, I don't know. Never saw that. Don't know. What's going on right now? Very evil things. And it's going to get worse. How do I know? Well, they're about to make the peace deal in Israel, and if you know the story, well, halfway through, all hell breaks loose. Betrayal. Deal reneged upon by the Antichrist. The only one who's able to make the deal. Donnie gonna make it. I can't believe we've gotten this far. Can you believe it? Again, all those speeches you heard about that time. All the men that made those speeches, of course, they said it was going to happen soon in the time they were discussing it. They were all wrong. Again, in their defense, many things weren't around yet. They were working with what they had, what they saw. Most of them, if not all of them, also working through a political lens of bias. Therefore, you would never be right. We about to see the actual peace deal that no one could make since 1945. Do you understand how historic this is? It's really going to happen this time. Not like the other million times people said it was going to fucking happen. We're on the verge of seeing that temple go up. They know there's going to be a lot of mad people in the world. That's why it's, better not even say Israel, or we're going to lock you up. Donnie's already making this about him. How do I know that? Let me move on. I digress way too fucking much. Already a half hour, 20 minutes. Peace in the Middle East. Let's call it eternal peace in the Middle East. This is far more than anybody expected. My plan calls for the creation of a new international oversight body, the Board of Peace. Can you fucking believe it? It will be headed by a gentleman known as President Donald J. Trump. So much for that Tony Blair bullshit. Yes, Tony Blair will be involved. Not like Donnie's involved. Donnie gonna run it. Again, it's the Holy Land, son. Why's a U.S. president running this? I think you know the answer. Do you believe yet? Oh, you will, son. Don't worry. Hopefully, it won't be too late for you when you hit that moment. Oversight body called the Board of Peace, headed by Donnie. The Antichrist. The man who just blew 4 boats out of the water and countless other abominations. Deployed the military against us. Has masked men with machine guns running around American cities. Terrorizing people, kidnapping them. Concentration camps. He's the one who will head the Board of Peace, son. Is this him still trying? Well, this was always the agenda, but is this him trying to take credit for this peace so he gets the Nobel? Is that what he's going for? Even though the Nobel people told him, we're never going to give it to you. Kind of hard not to give it to the guy who makes the peace deal with Israel and the Palestinians, right? But is it really a peace deal, or is it the Israelis pointing a gun at the Palestinians or Gazans and saying, make peace or die? You know what I mean? That's really what it is. Let's be honest. Donnie and Bibi made it quite clear. If you guys don't go along with this 19-point plan, whatever it is, you die. That's not really a peace deal, is it? But in Donnie's mind, in the Antichrist's mind, in Bibi's mind. So Donnie wants to head up the Board of Peace. And again, I have a feeling the Board of Peace will eventually become the Board of War. That's what I'm guessing. The White House released a map outlining President Trump's Gaza peace plan, which ensures Israel will not occupy or annex the Gaza Strip. The plan envisions Gaza transformed into a terror-free zone to be redeveloped for the benefit of the people of Gaza. That's in quotes. And includes a prisoner swap as part of the framework. I'm sure. After the finance minister said, well, we invested a lot in this war, we got to get our money back. I'm sure it's only going to be redeveloped for the benefit of the people of Gaza. That's the biggest propaganda sentence probably ever written. Yeah, again, Kushner, Donnie, Bibi, others. Yeah, there's going to be resorts. There's going to be real estate deals. It ain't just going to be for the people of Gaza. Just like the resort commercial. They tried to show the little Gazan children, the peasants, running through the resort and money's raining. None of that's going to happen. That was never the intention. That's for, again, that's for the peasants to think they're going to get something out of this. So no, I'm not believing it's just going to be redeveloped for the benefit of the people of Gaza. Give me a fucking break here. Now, they have this map with a bunch of lines, and I guess these would be the lines that certain parties can't cross. See, blue line, yellow line, red line. And again, this isn't set in stone yet, but they got a whole framework. They got a map. They got the points written out. We're going to go through them quickly. This is real, son. Again, this ain't Alex Jones. This ain't all the other people. It's going to happen in the next year. It's going to happen soon. No. Now. I told you back when he got reelected. Now it's happening. All of it. Every fucking person you heard. And I'm not making fun of them. I'm just saying. I don't care who they are. That we've heard, proclaiming things for decades. Every one of them was wrong. About the time frame when it was happening. Now. I said now, right, back then? Now it's all happening. And no, it ain't the liberals again, son. It was you the whole time. Trump announces Gaza will be governed under the temporary transitional governance of a technocratic, apolitical Palestinian committee, which will be chaired by Donald J. Trump. Technocratic, they needed that word in there for Leon, for Greasy Pete, for the Reich. Technocracy is part of this whole thing. Read the story, son. When else could the whole world see things but now? When else was it possible for one man to run the world? Now. When was it possible for something or someone to be omnipresent? Now via AI. When was the surveillance state really possible? Only now that we've realized how powerful the drone thing is. Individual little tiny ones, bigger ones, bigger ones, bigger ones. Use small ones to kill individual men. A little bit bigger to kill a group of men. Can go right in your house through a window. They're already sending them out on police calls. In a few areas. Only now, son. Only with the digital realm, is there a way to keep track of us all and catalog us all. You could try and do that on paper, it would never work. Technocratic, apolitical Palestinian committee will be chaired by Donald Trump. Technocracy map? Yeah, they believe that. Greenland, Canada, America, Mexico, Central America, top portion of South America. Technocracy map. From a book written by a Nazi scientist that these Nazis deify, believe in, that's their plan, they like it, it's cool. That dystopia that's described. Leon was even named after a character. A name given to kings. Leon did the Nazi salute on Inauguration Day. They believe it, son. That's why you're starting to see the word technocratic, technocracy, all that. That's because of them. That's where they want to take it. And they are taking it there. No matter what you and I want. Irrelevant. I can't believe I'm seeing this and we 8 months in, son. It's just the beginning. And he ain't leaving in 2.5 years, so. Unless that's the end point. But again, the story talks about a 7-year deal that is reneged upon halfway through by the Antichrist. So the deal has to be made. Then you count 3.5. But you have to be right about the actual deal. In the biblical sense, in the cosmic sense, in the universal sense, in the sense of God's plan. So you have to know that starting point. And then you can count 3.5 and wait for him to turn on these people. which is written as well. That's in the story. So what amazes me is people know of the story. Bibi, the religious Jews over in Israel, everyone knows of the story, yet they're walking the path anyway. That shows the power of worldliness, of the desires you have in this world. Bibi's desire, glory of Israel, Aliyah, rebuild the temple, all that. He's letting that draw him, and to try to stay out of prison. He's letting that draw him away from what's right in front of him, the story telling him he's fucking up right now. He's walking to the abyss. Bibi doesn't see that, because he worried about the glory of Israel and staying out of prison. Here's Donnie again at the podium. So refresh your memory. This is historic, man. If Hamas rejects the deal, which is always possible, as you know, Bibi, you'll have our full backing to do what you got to do. The person's asking, why celebrate a deal Hamas hasn't accepted yet? Well, they got no fucking choice, son. They accept it or die. That's what Donnie just said. What Donnie and Bibi are trying to tell the world, tell you people that live over there. Everybody either goes along with this, or we really come in and clean it out. And you don't get any say. That's what they're trying to say. So I can't see how the Muslim world over there, the Palestinian, how they can refuse. If they refuse, they die. That's simple. So what choice is there? So I don't think this will take long. And if they say no, Bibi goes in, clears it all out, ships them wherever, whatever's left, builds the resorts and everything in the temple. Either way, it happens. Do you get it? Either way, they say no, it happens. They say yes, it happens. So it's happening. President Trump announced a board of peace to govern Gaza led by himself and joined by former UK Prime Minister Tony Blair and others. So now it's joined. Last week it was Tony Blair going to run it. Oh no, I knew that wasn't going to happen. Not with the Antichrist running around, who wants a throne on the Holy Land. And he about to get one. He's the head of it now. And if they say no, well, they die. That's simple. So he's the head of it then too. Either way, there's no way out of this. So Tony Blair will join now. Donnie will be in charge, which I always knew that was going to happen. Donnie said, we're going to own it. Donnie wants the glory. Donnie wants the credit for this deal. I don't know if Donnie knows who he is or not. He probably does. I'm not sure. But he wants this. What does Donnie always do? Make everything about him. Any historic event, any event at all. Donnie wants to make that about him. Guess what event's coming in the future that I keep telling you about? The temple will be rebuilt. Donnie thinks he's king of the world. He said it out loud. I run the world. He said it to the Atlantic, remember? The difference between the first term and the second term. Now I run the country and the world. So when that temple's built, what do you think will happen, class? Will Donnie make it about him? A temple that's supposed to be dedicated to God. The temple. It's the only temple I remember in Scripture that God said to build. There may be others that, I'm not an expert on Scripture. So it's the temple, son. That's going to happen in the future, class. And Donnie will make that about him. A temple that's supposed to be for God, even though there are insults involved, like sacrificing animals If you sacrifice an animal to atone for your sins to God, you are negating the sacrifice of Jesus Christ. He is the ultimate, final, and necessary sacrifice. There are no more sacrifices necessary of animals and stuff like that. That's what Christ was. He was the sacrifice son. So if you kill an animal to atone for your sins in the old way, you are committing a grave offense against God. So those types of things will take place because they don't accept the Jews, a percentage of them, the ones in charge right now. They don't accept Jesus Christ. So they think, yeah, we still got to do animal sacrifice and go the old way. That's our tradition. That's what we do. Jesus wasn't the Savior. Just a guy. That's the way they look at it. So those type of offenses will take place as well. And again, if the good book is true, and the man upstairs sent a piece of himself called Jesus Christ down here, the God-man, to be a sacrifice for us worthless fucking humans, and then you say, you know what, I'm going to go sacrifice an animal in the old way. I don't really like that Jesus guy and that whole thing. Horrible offense to God. That will take place again. And again, Tony Blair, a more, diminished role. Donnie's in charge of the Holy Land, son. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Why? I think you know why. Even if you don't believe me, I think you know. Netanyahu on Gaza peace, and here's how Bibi looked. If Hamas rejects your plan, Mr. President, or if they supposedly accept it and then basically do everything to counter it, then Israel will finish the job by itself. So you have Bibi and Donnie straight up saying to the world in this little performance back and forth where they talk to each other, you either accept this deal or you die. That's simple. So again, it's peace via gunpoint. And everybody knows it. This isn't kumbaya, let's sit by the campfire and celebrate our newfound friendship. No, this is, you got a gun in your face. Are we going to make peace, son, with that gun in your face? That's the question. When you got the gun in your face, you really don't have a fucking choice, do you? Right. Donnie and Bibi again, they saying straight up, go along or it's over. We're done. We gonna come in and clean house what we already didn't destroy, which I don't know what, 3 buildings left? This is the actual White House plan. 38 minutes. Yeah, I think I can get through this rather quickly. It's 3 pages. It's about 20 points, and they're not really long. And it looks like this. I'm going to go through them really quickly here. Gaza will be a de-radicalized, terror-free zone that does not pose a threat to its neighbors. That's 1. Gaza will be redeveloped for the benefit of the people of Gaza who have suffered more than enough. That's Donnie trying to be the peacemaker, and that's Donnie and Bibi and all the parties, Jared, trying to pretend that this isn't about real estate and making a lot of money in resorts and beachfront property. If both sides agree to this proposal, the war will immediately end. That's in bold print. In other words, we'll either continue to kill you and level Gaza even more with, the last 3 buildings that are left, or you go along. That's it. Israeli forces will withdraw to the agreed upon line to prepare for the hostage release, or a hostage release, excuse me. And then the lines that I showed you earlier, that's what they're talking about. During this time, all military operations, including aerial and artillery, will be suspended, and battle lines will remain frozen until conditions are met for the complete staged withdrawal. Within 72 hours of Israel publicly accepting this agreement, that's still what has to happen, all hostages alive and deceased will be returned. That would mean the Gazans, the Palestinians, would have to admit which ones are dead, which ones are alive, and return that, and if they even have the remains or the live person anymore. I don't think they're going to have much of a choice. Once all hostages are released, Israel released 250 life sentence plus 1,700 Gazans who were detained after October 7th, including all women and children detained in that context. For every Israeli hostage whose remains are released, Israel will release the remains of 15 deceased Gazans. Well, how long are people holding on to remains? Once all hostages are returned, Hamas members who commit to peaceful coexistence and decommission their weapons will be given amnesty. Members of Hamas who wish to leave Gaza will be provided safe passage to receiving countries. Upon acceptance of this agreement, full aid will be immediately sent into Gaza Strip at a minimum, and quantities will be consistent with what was included in the January 19 agreement regarding humanitarian aid, including rehabilitation of infrastructure, water, electric, sewage, rehabilitation of hospitals, bakeries, and entry of necessary equipment to remove rubble and open roads. You mean clear the way for the resorts? Entry of distribution and aid in the Gaza Strip will proceed without interference from the two parties through the UN and its agencies and the Red Crescent, in addition to other international institutions not associated in any manner with either party. Opening the Rafah crossing in both directions will be subject to the same mechanism implemented under the January 19, 2025 agreement. Gaza will be governed under the temporary transitional governance of a technocratic, apolitical Palestinian committee responsible for delivering the day-to-day running of public services and municipalities for the people in Gaza. Technocratic, you say? Wonder where that word came from and why they want it there. This committee will be made up of qualified Palestinians and international experts with oversight and supervision by a new international transitional body, the Board of Peace, which will be headed and chaired by President Donald J. Trump, the Antichrist. The Board of Peace, son, do you believe it? Daddy telling you a story here, son. Listen up. With other members and heads of state to be announced, including Tony Blair, this body will set the framework, handle the funding, redevelopment of Gaza until such time as the Palestinian Authority has completed its reform program, as outlined in various proposals, including Trump's peace plan in 2020, Saudi-French proposal, and can securely, effectively take back control of Gaza. This body will call on best international standards to create modern and efficient governance that serves the people of Gaza and is conducive to attracting investment. By Jared Kushner, Bibi, Donnie, others. Is Tony going to put up a few resorts too? Mr. Blair, you should want nothing to do with this, son. You should get the fuck out of this. A Trump economic development plan to rebuild and energize Gaza. Trump economic development plan. That means it would benefit Donnie, right? Of course it would, because Donnie's in charge of it. I didn't know this part. A Trump economic development plan to rebuild and energize Gaza will be created by convening a panel of experts who have helped birth some of the thriving modern miracle cities in the Middle East. Many thoughtful investment proposals and exciting development ideas have been crafted by well-meaning international groups and will be considered to synthesize the security and government's frameworks to attract and facilitate these investments that will create jobs, opportunity, and hope for future Gaza. You know what all those words mean? Trump Gaza Resort, Gold Donnie statues, Jared Kushner Resort. That's what all those words mean. A lot of pretty words there. And again, trying to paint it as if it's all for the Gazans. Sure. Sure it is. A special economic zone will be established with preferred tariff and access rates to be negotiated with participating countries. And I wonder who will set those rates. And who's going to be in charge of the economic zone? A Trump economic development plan. Oh, is that where the resort will be? Or is that just for Russian oligarchs, that section? No one will be forced to leave Gaza. Those who wish to leave will be free to do so and free to return. We will encourage people to stay and offer them the opportunity to build a better Gaza or be our slaves and build these resorts for us. Is that what they're thinking here? You know what? Maybe we can use these people. They have no homes to go back to. Let's have them build our castles. Oh, man. Now it's you can leave and we'll bring you back and we'll take power for now and we'll give it back later. Don't worry. Oh, these promises have been made all throughout time, son. But you know what reality is? That commercial you saw with the Gold Donnie statues and Trump Gaza. That's fucking reality. A lot of pretty words dressing this up when I know exactly what they're going to do. Hamas and other factions agree to not have any role in government of Gaza, directly, indirectly, any form. All military terror and offensive infrastructure, including tunnels and weapon production facilities, will be destroyed and not rebuilt. There will be a process of demilitarization of Gaza under the supervision of independent monitors, which will include placing weapons permanently beyond use through an agreed process of decommissioning and supporting by an internationally funded buyback and reintegration program, all verified by independent monitors. New Gaza will be fully committed to building a prosperous economy and to peaceful coexistence with their neighbors. And by prosperous economy, they mean for Donnie, Bibi, and all the resort builders. That's what they're talking about. So they need stability over there. The U.S. will work with Arab international partners to develop a temporary international stabilization force, that's the ISF, to immediately deploy in Gaza. The ISF will train, provide support to vetted Palestinian police forces in Gaza, will consult with Jordan and Egypt, who have extensive experience in this field. This force will be the long-term internal security solution. The ISF will work with Israel and Egypt, help secure the border areas, along with newly trained Palestinian police forces. It is critical to prevent munitions from entering Gaza and to facilitate the rapid and secure flow of goods to rebuild and revitalize Gaza. A deconfliction mechanism will be agreed upon by the authorities. In other words, we got to make this a nice, safe area because we're going to build these resorts and we want to make money. So we're going to make sure it's nice and safe with our own private police force. Israel will not occupy or annex Gaza as the ISF establishes control stability with Israel Defense Forces, that's the IDF, will withdraw based on standards, milestones, timeframes linked to demilitarization that will be agreed upon between the IDF and ISF, the guarantors, and the U.S., with the objective of a secure Gaza that no longer poses a threat to Israel, Egypt, or its citizens. Practically, the IDF will progressively hand over the Gaza territory it occupies to the ISF, according to an agreement they will make with the Transitional Authority until they are withdrawn completely from Gaza, save for a security perimeter presence that will remain until Gaza is properly secure from any resurgent terror threat. None of this sounds good. An interfaith dialogue process will be established based on the values of tolerance and peaceful coexistence to try and change mindsets and narratives of Palestinians and Israelis by emphasizing the benefits that can be derived from peace. I'm sure that will be very effective. It's been very effective since 1945. There's only been 7 wars and shit. While Gaza redevelopment advances and when the PA reform program is faithfully carried out, the conditions may finally be in place for a credible pathway to Palestinian self-determination and statehood, which we recognize as the aspiration of the Palestinian people. The U.S. will establish a dialogue between Israel and the Palestinians to agree on a political horizon for peaceful and prosperous coexistence. Well, Bibi and Donnie have it all figured out. Donnie gets to be in charge of it all, the economic zone, freedom zone, board of peace. Donnie's running it all. The Holy Land son, the guy who the crazy guy in sunglasses said is the Antichrist. The guy, the guy who the crazy guy in sunglasses said would make all roads lead to the Holy Land, son, and that temple. 8 months later, after he takes the keys back, he's in charge of the Holy Land, son. Do you hear me? He's in charge of the Holy Land, son. Eight months. Told you it wouldn't take 20 years, son. And this random commenter, this ends up with a Trump resort in Gaza, right? Right. We saw the commercial. That's the real intent, let's be honest. All that glowing language about doing it all for the Gazan people and the Palestinians, and eventually, 80 years from now, you might get a state out of it. Once our private police force, retreats to the perimeter. Okay, this is off the subject of this. I want to talk about it quickly, and then I'll end with the Gaza thing again. YouTube says it will pay $24.5 million to settle Trump's lawsuit over the company's decision to remove his account after the J6 attack. Now, all these social media companies, for once, I agree with their decision to remove someone. Why? Not because I don't like the person. There's a lot of people I don't like on social media that get way more attention to me, that get more promotion to me as if I ever got any, and don't get banned every 3 seconds like I do. That's not why. The man staged a fucking coup against this nation when he lost the election. People died. People were beaten. People went to prison. Then he stole 3,000 classified documents, and the entire time he was lying to the entire world saying he won the election, so that riles up the rubes. And it's just a fucking lie. So, since he staged a coup against our government and was still continuing to say, I won the election, I think Google, YouTube, and all the other platforms that took him down were right to do so. If that don't get you taken down, son, what does? But he's back up on all the platforms. They all caved, including Google. Now on top of caving, since he's the Antichrist, which I told you would do this to you, son. Google, I'm talking to you. That $1 million in tribute, I told you wouldn't be enough. Before the election, I told you you'd never stop coming to your door. So you were in the right to remove him. So were all the other places that have now brought him back. Not only did they bring him back, they're going to pay him $24 million for taking him down. Oh my God, that disgusts me. I can't even broadcast live on this piece of shit. And they're going to pay him $24 million for taking him down when they were right to do it. That's how far gone we are, son. Zuckerberg paid him via a settlement. Several TV stations paid him via a settlement. Newspapers, colleges. It's tribute. That's all it is, son. So all the tech bros, Sundar, all the tech company CEO, they all dropped $1 million right second one when Donnie got won, when he won the re-election. Bezos, all of them. Every single one. Gates, all of them. I said then that 1 million, that's just the opening ante. That's nothing. Again, am I not the Orange Messiah? I told you before the election he'd never stop coming to your door. Bezos bought a video rights for a Melania documentary. He doesn't give a fuck about that. That was a, tribute to Donnie, $40 million. Google gave $1 million. Zuckerberg gave $1 million. Now they've given settlements on top of it. I told you, all you people, all you geniuses with the coats and ties with the title CEO that love shutting me down. I told you this motherfucker would never stop coming to your door, right? You've already been at the table several times. I just said to you good people out there that watch this, all three, thanks to the adjudicated criminal Google. What did I just say? I can't remember now. Oh, I said every time they come to the table, do you think that doesn't cost them? $24 million. So Vlad got $100 million of your money, just took it. Donnie's got about 26 now, because it's 24.5 actually. Plus whatever you gave him behind closed doors. I told you, geniuses with the big bank accounts that voted for this. He's never going to stop coming to your door. Your tax cuts will be fucking worthless. $24 million. And that's after the $1 million they gave in the opener. And God knows what they gave in between. Again, something else I said way before all this took place. Before the election. When I begged everybody not to do it. When I was censored. Getting 40 views of vid again. Talking about lawsuits and politics. And then Donnie getting back in. And begging you not to make it happen. Spoke to the rich directly. And I know some of them were watching, believe me. So I was talking lawsuits, son. And they know I have one. And now we're 26 million in, Google. And God knows what else you've given. And you're apologizing for taking a person off of your platform that staged a coup, is guilty of defamation, rape, all kinds of things. You're apologizing and making them a multimillionaire in the process. I think of all the money you cost me. I think about the career I could have right now. If it wasn't for you worthless cunts that work with the mob. And you pay this demon $24 million. It couldn't happen to nicer people. And Vlad will take more from you. And Donnie will take more from you. And others will too. And you'll watch it slowly slip away. And you'll realize, oh shit, what have we done? And guess what? By then, it'll be too late for you. It already is, actually. It's inevitable. You're over. Inevitable. Sorry. You chose it, son. Not me. You know, you could have left guys like me on the platform that were debunking Pizzagate as you were taking his videos down, trying to pretend that he was promoting it. As if you care about that. You made billions off of Pizzagate and those people and the Russian money. Don't worry, Donnie and Vlad will take all that. Good luck. You guys are the smart ones, right? Again, I said this before the election, this would happen, and whilst begging people not to vote for it. Literally what I said is taking place. They didn't know the animal, the beast they were dealing with. They thought they could just keep going. It's just a man. We're smart. My suit costs $6,000. I can manipulate anyone. Oh, son. You're paying a man $25 million who staged a coup against this country. It's over for you. You understand that? This is a $25 million bribe out in the open for everyone to see. Yeah, Google. And no one can ever take you serious. Anybody that gets taken down on this platform, how can you ever take it seriously? When Donnie staged a coup, stole classified documents, and lied every day about voting systems and the election being rigged and all that. And every platform is in the right to take that dangerous shit the fuck off the air. And now every platform's paying him money. Leon financed this whole damn campaign. The owner of Twitter. If this went to court, Trump would lose. Google is hoping that Trump's DOJ will drop the antitrust case. Right, they're all looking for favors. It's just tribute. Google's got something in the works. They need a case to go away. Other companies have mergers they want to perform. They do whatever Donnie wants. Throw him some money, whatever. Then all of a sudden they get their merger. And again, he's going to keep coming back to your door. He's never going to stop. And it's going to, what have you done for me lately? I know you gave me $24 million a few months ago, but, Mr. Sundar, what have you done for me lately? Again, you people, you didn't understand it was a beast. I understood 10 years ago as you people were taking Russian money, promoting people like Tim Pool, all that. Betraying our country. To the point you're going to lose your business. You understand that, right? All of you will. It's all over. It's a matter of time. It's not if, it's when. And you made it happen, son. All of you CEOs that are paying tribute right now, that probably voted for this, you're making it happen right now. What do you mean probably voted for it? Of course you did. Fuck am I talking about? Amazing. Again, maybe if you would have left the people on, that were debunking Pizzagate, that weren't taking Russian money. Maybe if you didn't take Russian money, maybe we'd still have a country. Maybe you wouldn't be losing hundreds of millions in tribute to Donnie and Vlad stealing your money and all that. But you knew better. Right? Right. Guy in sunglasses don't know shit. He's a liar and a scammer, right? Right, Google? The adjudicated criminal? Not the guy that took the $400 million plane. and staged a coup, he's not the bad guy. I am, right? The adjudicated criminal Google, they're not the bad guy, right? No, it's the guy in sunglasses. I know. The old wise, all-knowing CEO and corporate mentality. The literal downfall of America. Let me stop there. This ends with a Trump resort in Gaza. I just want to make real clear before I get out of here. You are witnessing fucking history. This is a huge deal. And again, I was saying all this stuff the second he got the keys back and before. That all roads lead here. Look where we're at now. This will happen soon. Bibi and Donnie will make sure of it. I doubt they'll let this go on for 6 months. I have a feeling they're going to want an answer real quick. And if no, okay, we just go in and clear it out. So it's going to happen either way. It doesn't matter if they accept, not accept. Who can make war with the beast, son? Nobody. So the beast want Gaza. The beast going to get Gaza. He got Gaza. He's in charge now. Because again, son, it don't matter if they say no, yes, maybe so. You either accept the deal or we exterminate you like roaches. That's it. So it's happening regardless. You are witnessing the deal that could not be made by person after person of high profile and clout. Everybody wanted to be the one in the history books as, I made the deal, the peace deal between the Palestinians and Israelis, the peace deal that could not be made. Many a name has come along and tried to handle that. None of them even got close. They pretended to do it in the first term with Jared Kushner. That was a joke. I even knew then that wasn't the real peace deal. It was a joke. This a whole nother scenario. Gaza Ash, the October 7th attack as the justification to do all this. And that's again what you people in the Muslim world don't understand. When you took Vlad's money and made that plan happen against the Israelis, you gave the world the excuse to not give a fuck about you. You crossed a line so heinous and repulsive that you gave Bibi the excuse he's been looking for 40 fucking years. And then your counterparts here that care about your cause either didn't vote for Kamala and maybe voted for Trump or didn't vote at all. Therefore, they ended their cause and yours. Over forever. Donnie owns you now. Donnie runs you now. Whether you say yes or not, irrelevant. So the Muslims made a grave error with that attack on October 7th. Gave the Israelis and Bibi Netanyahu a lifeline, 1. 2, gave Bibi the excuse he's been looking for 40 fucking years to come in there and level shit. Anytime you criticize it, what does Bibi bring up? October 7th. Biggest mistake you people ever made. And I know there was a lot of hatred, animosity behind that. Still a big fucking mistake. Now we're here. Where it appears the literal fucking Antichrist, who's damn near deified by a certain percentage of Jewish people in Israel, is compared to King Cyrus, who has his own digital currency with fight, fight, fight on it, who's creating an AI image that will be done soon through Altman. is about to be in charge of the Holy Land, son. We're a very relevant part of it. And Bibi and the finance minister and others are talking Third Temple. You're going to see it. Can you believe we're here? Understand how historic this is. And again, for you people who were like me in any way over the decades, where you listen to these prophetic interpretations and speeches on end times and all that, even though all those people were wrong about their time frames, you understand the significance of this moment. And again, this is the most important time of all of our lives, even though it might not seem like it. Might just seem depressing, ugly, and sad. But it's the most important time of our lives, and we're going to be asked to make the most important choice of our lives. Is you going to worship the Antichrist? You going to take that mark? Or not? Most important decision of your life. Not who to marry, not whether to have children or not, not the day your child was born. The most important day of your life, since you have the unfortunate your fortune is so negative that you were born in this time. This choice will be the most important choice of your life, because what you decide will determine your eternity, whether you have one or not. That's what the mark is. You must say no, no matter what it costs you. Because if you say yes, it will cost you everything, and there's no trade backs once you say yes. I'm very tired and it's very late. I hope everyone has a wonderful day. I wasn't going to come on tonight again, but this is so historic and important, and they really got it fleshed out. Point by point, way it's going to roll, and Donnie's in charge no matter fucking what. Of everything. No matter if the Palestinians, the Gazans say yes or no, doesn't matter, irrelevant. It's going to happen either way. And I would hate to see him say no. Because if they do, Bibi going to run in there with tanks and steamroll the whole fucking thing. Anyway, hope everyone has a wonderful day today. I just can't believe we're here. So many years of listening people talk about this. And we're here. What's really going to fuck me up is when they start slapping that temple up. Because it's, although I understand it's real, I know it's real, I'm telling you it's real, it's all really happening. To see that, though, that's the story alive in your fucking face. You can't deny it. And again, I keep hoping to wake up. Oh, look at that, Nick, you're wrong. Instead, I wake up to a 20-point plan that Bibi and Donnie have worked out, where Donnie's in charge of the Holy Land. Have a good day. Until the next episode.